My mouse is blinking, and I don't think that's a good thing. It might be slow. There's waves moving around, and the clouds are moving to the side. Is that fluid to you?
Yes.
That's good enough. Hello, my name is Daisyhead, and I'm with my friend Feral Socks.
Ah, the feralest of all possible socks, here to pleasure your ears with me eating boneless pork, microwave pork.
And both of us are drunk after doing
I'm
some.
starting to sober up. Don't fucking speak for both of us. How
I
dare you?
am going to take a shot of
I'm also probably gonna
Kraken
take a
Black
shot.
Spiced Rum. We are playing Dear Esther. I know literally nothing about this game other than Markiplier played it once, and I
I
never
know.
saw it. So,
Oh, excuse me, audience. I
from what
apologize.
I'm guessing,
I know it by hearsay.
with what I'm looking at, it looks poignant, which means it's kind of
Is it gonna be like Mist,
I don't know. It looks
beloved,
like something where someone has a very depressing kind of life and they're trying to move
beloved,
forward because
beloved
they lost someone. So I'm going to drink and
puzzle
we're going to
game?
just not. This is not going to be a good let's play because we're drunk.
Can I tell a funny story about Karawa Shoujo?
Hold on.
That was pretty good for me. I have a feeling this isn't going to be as intensive on your computer as Fallout 3, so it'll probably translate a lot more to screen sharing. Is there voiceover?
Yes, there is.
Okay, I won't talk over it.
Besides, I've always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Okay, so this is going to be a poignant game, and the fact that we're drunk is just going to shit all over this. So I think I might enjoy playing this as long as we're drunk.
I forgot what I was in the middle of saying. Oh, Karawa Shoujo.
Katawa Shoujo.
The first... I don't give a fuck. Alright, Daisy. I really just could not give a shit less how it's pronounced. It was originally introduced to me by its music from Yorick.
From Daisyhead.
Yeah, my friend Daisyhead. My other friend Daisyhead. In the form of the music from the game. And I didn't know it was from a game. I just thought it was like sort of like atmospheric music, sort of like that's like a chemical formula. Wait, look at that. What is that?
It to me this looks like some kind of
Carbon,
period.
carbon, oxygen, and a shit ton of hydrogen.
Yeah, it's literally what I was
What is
thinking.
that? It can't
I
be
was
CO2. There's only one O.
hold on. It's easier to look at it when you don't have the flashlight on it. But yeah, I was thinking periodic table.
Yeah, that's some sort of chemical compound. Anyway, I was introduced to it by its music, and I thought that it was just a music thing. I thought it was like a studio or an artist that does like atmospheric, sort of backgroundy music, sort of like what Two Steps from Hell does. That is a disgusting toilet. And so every time Yorick would bring it up, Katawa Shoujo, I'd be like, oh yeah, I love Katawa Shoujo, because I thought it was like a musician.
You thought I was a musician.
And then, or a music company or something. And then I found out what it was, and I was like,
Oh.
That's, go up the hill, Daisy, obviously.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
His character moves pretty slow.
Yeah,
It doesn't
Katawa
feel.
Shoujo.
It doesn't feel natural.
Katawa Shoujo is a game about having sex with disabled girls. Like, there's a girl with no arms. There's like a blind girl and like a mute girl and all that.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm not saying disabled people shouldn't get.
Everyone needs love some way, but pure
I don't know
sex
that
isn't
I'm comfortable
like,
doing like a visual novel where like my objective is like
a
girl with no arms. Keep walking. I've heard this game is a walking simulator, so we can just listen and walk at the same time.
As someone, okay, I'm really good at reading. Like at 6th grade, I had a 12.5 reading level, so I can
read the fucking club.
I know, right? And People talk too slow when reading, and it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, that infuriates me too when it comes to voiceovers accompanied with captions.
I want you to be done. I finished your sentence already. This entire paragraph is done, and this is...
Yeah, I'm already done with the caption before the voiceover is even like halfway there.
Yeah.
In every single game that does it. And the problem with that is I go back to read in time with the caption again after I'm already done reading just so that like the voiceover fits.
Mm-hmm.
And I continually just keep reading ahead anyway because that's how I read.
There's no jump.
On the other hand, I can't say that I hate that people put that in video games because I love things like audio logs where you can just pick up like a collectible, it'll play a little bit of lore while you're still doing stuff.
Oh, like Fallout does.
Yeah, Fallout does that, and does Fallout do that?
Yeah,
Fallout,
when you pick up one of the audio tapes.
I'm thinking more of like a BioShock sort of thing where you just find the thing, hit a button, and it plays it while you're going. Whereas in Fallout, you do have to go into a menu and activate it. And then you can do stuff after you back out of the menu, but I would just rather do it automatically.
A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum.
Excuse me. I doubt that the baby cried to fill the vacuum. It probably cried because it was a baby and it was just being born.
Yeah, that's the most natural reaction. That's something that's absolutely necessary for the birthing process, because if it doesn't cry, it might be dead. So you want to make sure that it has life inside of it.
That's why doctors spank the baby.
Yeah, because it hurts and it doesn't like it. That actually was what the problem for me, because when I was born, my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and actually killed me, so I had to be resuscitated.
Fuck. I don't remember any of the... Well, of course I don't remember any of the details of my birth. I don't remember being told any of the details of my birth. The only thing I know is that, I think it was either before or after my brother. My mom had, I think, a miscarriage.
Ooh.
Either a miscarriage or an abortion. But, if that she's only ever wanted 2 sons. So if that horrible thing hadn't have happened...
Oh my god.
I wouldn't exist because I'm the younger son.
Oh god.
So it's like, it's very sobering to know that, like, in the shittiest possible way, I'm very lucky to be alive. That's always kind of just been something that's stuck with me. Wow, we got really heavy really quickly.
Well, it doesn't matter, because this audio I'm reading is very, very, like, poignant.
Lines in the place explode. Right eye.
Along with its hosts. My lines are just for this. Keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Okay, so he's talking about some sort of disease.
Yeah. What do you think this is? Because this
I don't know, with a game sort of like this, I don't know whether to predict a metaphorical disease or an actual one. That's one of the problems that you get when, you know, you have a lot of metaphors in your game.
We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen.
Alright, that last sentence is kind of... I'm not totally sure I understand.
This
strange
game,
luminescence of what?
This game is absolutely one that wants you to just stop and think about how life works.
There is a game that we could play sometime that I think does that really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
The Talos Principle.
Ooh, I've seen it on my feed in Steam.
It's like a first-person puzzle game.
Mm.
A lot of similarities with Portal, but enough differences that it's not a fucking clone. And Oh, hey, name drop for the game.
I know, right?
The main philosophical struggle that the game deals with is what can actually be considered like as intelligence, what can be considered as a soul. And
Yeah.
part of that is because the character that you play as, you're a robot.
Oh.
And so the titular Talos principle refers to the Greek construct Talos, who was a giant statue made out of bronze and brass, who was gifted life by the gods. And anytime Talos was injured, this sort of like unknown Icary fluid would come out from him, and so that led to a lot of debate as to, well, he's alive. Obviously, he's moving around and doing things.
He wasn't
And
created in a normal way, but he still feels,
when he's
and
cut, he bleeds, and like
it hurts him, and
yeah, there's a lot of talk about lifeblood and all that.
so.
And so, could you consider Talos to be truly alive, even though he's an artificial construct? And in my opinion, the answer to that is yes. I've always been really on the side of considering true artificial intelligence as life.
As long as it's because of their own will, like
that's really what it always comes down to.
If they're programmed a specific way to react to something specific, then that can't really be free will. They're supposed to act that specific way. So
in my personal opinion, it comes down to awareness of self.
Yeah.
And having the presence of mind to contemplate its own existence. And free will. Those two things, I think, are what constitute a life.
I want to go to that lighthouse because it feels natural to go towards that. Like, absolutely.
It's also why, and I'm going to go a little bit political here, which, I mean, Sober Feral would never do. Sober Feral hates politics. It's also part of why I am very moderately pro-choice, because I wouldn't consider an abortion to be the taking of life. I would consider it to be ending the potential for life.
Yeah.
Like a fetus isn't a life because it's alive. That's not a life yet. It's a living thing.
It's not a sentient being.
But it's not a life.
Oh, did I just drown?
That being said, I'm also like, don't have an abortion at 9 months.
Yeah, that's
pretty fucked up.
Okay, so I drowned.
So I've always said, like, first 4 months of the pregnancy, do whatever you need to do. After that baby's being born, deal with it.
Yeah, there's a point where you just waited too long, and it's either if you didn't want the baby in the first place, you should have dealt with it earlier on. Otherwise, you should give it up for adoption so someone else can.
I mean, I think that's a good place to be. Moderation.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with America nowadays. Nobody's willing to be fucking moderate. I saw a graph the other day of Congress willingness to collaboration between the two major parties.
Yeah.
And even just back in like the 70s, there was like a ton of collaboration. And it was a graph of a bunch of little dots representing seats on the Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And then the little lines between the dots would represent collaborations between parties.
Cool.
In like the 70s and 80s, there's a bunch of red and blue dots. And then like 50 lines between them. There was a ton of collaborations. And then as time moved forward, you just get one clump of blue and one clump of red and like maybe 2 or 3 lines for each one of those clumps. Everybody's just become so fucking divisive and they've got a black and white us versus them mentality.
Everyone wants to be
Everybody wants to be
above
right.
and right, and
Nobody wants to compromise. Which, I mean, I've always thought that's what humanity is about compromise. You
it's
got to find a middle ground for everybody.
yeah,
I mean, there is no us versus them because everybody is us.
and
We're all us.
a lot of conflicts are just created because of like no compromise and trying to articulate
Yeah.
something, and I
Oh, there's
just can't.
another that's the same chemical code.
Yeah,
Now it's just got
H
tree
H
branches coming
H
out of it.
H
I'm gonna look
C.
this up real quick. I want to know what chemical code this is.
Yeah, actually, this I was in my mind. I was trying to figure out where this might be in the
It's not a
world.
code; it's a chemical formula.
Okay, there's some fish and bread, so that is definitely Jesus.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah,
First.
that's two fish and a couple loaves of bread with a paint can and some bones. That's definitely Jesus trying to defeat people who are just they need something to fill their lives. But I'm not religious at all. I just
I'm not religious either. What I consider myself to be is a deist,
mm,
which is I believe that the universe exists as science understands it to exist,
mm,
and it's a core of beliefs that very much revolves around caving and compromising to what scientific fact understands about the universe,
mm,
but also in the belief that the universe was created to work as science understands it.
mm-hmm.
The term I definitely prefer to use when describing my beliefs is clockwork universe,
Yeah.
which is I believe some higher power set up the universe to work as we understand it, and we learn more things about it, and like I said, it caves way to scientific fact. So it's a belief that adapts as science continues and learns new things.
Mm-hmm.
And then that thing or whatever is either just like sitting and observing its creation going on, or has like fucked off to do something else. Whatever it is, it's not interfering in anything.
Mm.
That's what I believe. I consider myself a modern
Vegetation
deist.
here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death.
The chemical formula that we keep running into is ethanol.
The sky is too thin for the
Alcohol?
and the soil is cut
Like,
Ethanol.
yeah, that's an
Ethyl
alcohol.
alcohol. Oh, dear Esther, ethyl, ethanol.
Ethanol. Oh my god.
Ah.
And we're both drunk.
Well, I've been sobering up for a little while,
I
especially
just-
once I started eating.
Oh my god. That was literally a
Did you
drop.
just take another shot?
Not a shot, but it was a drop that was left in my cup. Oh. Yeah, that black spiced rum, that really hits you. So,
What do you believe, Daisy?
the universe definitely has a set rule of how it needs to function, and quite frankly, that's it. We exist merely to exist, and the way we live out that existence is up to us.
Do you believe in any sort of afterlife?
No, quite frankly, what we have is what we got, because people have died and they can be brought back from that. Like people like Phil Anselmo from the band Pantera have overdosed and died, and they were brought back. So what that tells me is that mostly how we exist is just electronic pulses that our brain sends us to how we function. So that's how we exist. We're just electronics. And
So then, from that point of view, could anything be considered truly alive?
Yeah, we're just electronic devices. Electronic pulses tell me that I want to bend my fingers or if I need to breathe. So when we go to sleep, those pulses become automatic and we're just breathing on our own in our sleep because we're unconscious. Our body needs to survive on its own in a way. Like, we exist to continue existing. So we have to take that existence we have. It's really hard to articulate this.
I
Like,
understand, but
especially after drinking and
I
having
sort of get what you're
fun.
saying. I will say though that I disagree. But you're free to think whatever you like.
Mm,
I like to think that there is some sort of afterlife, and that what we're doing now, the existence that we have while we're alive, is sort of once again ties back into that Clockwork Universe thing. Is we are the instruments in which the universe tests itself.
mm,
We're the universe experiencing itself.
mm.
And when it's done when it's done experiencing ourselves through us, maybe fucking give us like a cushy little spot. That's what I like to think.
Well, we literally are the experience of the universe. We are what it has to offer. Like, yeah, I can dig that. I see how that works.
I just always thought it was just soul crushing to think that
We
we
are,
have such a limited time on the planet. And I
and
mean, with time that limited, could any endeavor be considered worth spending that time on?
like,
Getting a job, raising money, all of that. Could that be worth spending your only short time in existence on?
like in a way, it's our lives are so beyond pointless that what's the point in thinking it's pointless?
Which
So
is why, again, I find comfort in the idea that there's an afterlife, so that there is an entire eternity I have yet to experience,
mm,
and I'll get to experience it.
mm-hmm. This game has left such a poignant feeling. Like,
I like that none of the deep philosophical topics that we've brought up so far have had anything to do with your Esther.
and it's still it feels like thoughtful somehow.
What is your objective even right now? What are you trying to do?
They never tell us.
What was the last thing the voiceover said?
I wasn't looking. So, oh, there's a path. He said something about a boat and people. So, there's a hole in the boat. How did people get here?
Okay, so there was something about marks on cliffs and about how people from the boats could see the marks,
Mm,
and that the marks had something to do with some sort of plague,
yeah.
and that the voiceover narrator guy warned them that the plague wasn't just physical,
Mm.
which leads me to believe that it's some sort of mental sickness. Whatever the case is, this island seems completely deserted,
Oh, absolutely.
and I am very much willing to put that on whatever went down.
I'm disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him, they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
Okay, so what that sentence reminded me of is a picture that was done by someone named oh god, he was famous. He believed that people had the right to end their suffering. And painting that he,
Suicide?
yeah, like if someone was in pain and there was nothing they could do to stop their end, like he believed they had the right to just end it
Oh,
because they had nothing left to offer.
that's a bit of a can of worms, isn't it,
It
though?
it really is, and
Because how many times is suicide considered the answer by people whose problems were infinitely smaller than they imagined?
then there's the context under
It's like
which that
always
was the
all the people
answer.
that jump off like the Golden Gate Bridge. They had that one guy who survived and said as soon as his feet left the ground, well, not the ground, but the bridge, it immediately occurred to him that everything that he thought was a problem in his life was easily fixable,
Hmm.
except having just jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Hmm. But what this man painted was an individual who was being taken into the afterlife, and it was represented by a door and him being dragged into it, and he was doing everything in his power not to go through it. But on the other side, it showed people completely at peace and not in pain. So what it was people try so hard to avoid death in every way possible, and at the end, it's just there's no pain.
It's the
So
great equalizer.
yeah.
There's no, rich people, poor people, good people, bad people. Everybody dies.
Hmm.
And I think there are some people that take solace in that fact.
Oh, it was Dr. Jack Kevorkian.
Although that is also a sobering thought when you think about it. Like, there will be a day where I just am no longer around in this world. Where it's just, this is my last day. These are the last breaths that I'm going to take. This is the last time looking at the sun out of my window.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the
Ugh.
hospital. After the operation,
I don't look forward to it, but it's going to happen. No getting away from it.
my speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Okay, so apparently a drinking problem, and somebody got hit by a drunk driver.
I'm feeling it's
Is this a
more
no?
metaphor.
I suppose the boats would indicate that it's a modern setting.
Yeah, I'm feeling it's more metaphorical than
Saw
that,
through his windscreen.
right?
Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar
That
in
is
the
a
hillside,
deep,
falling away to
deep
black
ravine.
forever.
Oh yeah. If you broke your ankle falling into that, you're screwed.
Yeah, I don't even see a way for you to climb out of that. That looked like a pretty sheer drop from all sides. It'd be like falling into an ice cream cone,
Mm.
except a giant stone ice cream cone.
It's just cold and not sweet at all.
Yeah, and way, way, way harder.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft, and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work
Alright, so
I'm drawn by
he's
the
looking to
shadow
get
of the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth
sort
waiting
of
there.
high up and in a very airy place on this island.
It seems like he's trying to find closure, maybe.
I think you're right. Something's happened that this guy is very not happy about on this island. And he's got purpose while he's still there, but he's, like he said, still trying to find closure for
Mossy was
something.
constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that, becoming
Okay, so the white lines carved into the cliffs represent people who have died based off of
Caught some disease from his malcontented goats.
disease of
Died
some
2
sort.
years after completing.
Or at least just died and they
Yeah,
wanted,
or perhaps just dying in general.
and they need something
There's
so
another
they can,
chemical formula on the wall.
let's see. They're
Oh,
arrows pointing to something.
what is that? What does that mean? I don't understand what I'm looking at there.
Me neither.
Wait, look at it again.
He got some music in too, like some violins.
Is there a way to turn the flashlight off?
I'm not sure. I can zoom in.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Yeah, it's a walking simulator. I can't react other than doing this.
zoom. My first thought was that it's kind of in the same shape as the formula for ethanol, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's not really. It's a very vague resemblance.
Hmm. Okay. Here's someone's home.
3 cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone. Built by a
You know, I like to
long-time
pride
sailor.
myself on my vocabulary,
Hmm.
My camp
but
bed, a stove,
like every other
chairs, my clothes,
paragraph
books.
this guy talks about, I just see a word that I've never seen before.
Hmm.
My limbs and belly,
Like bothy in the last paragraph. What the
skin
fuck is
is
that?
always this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
So that sounds like he's talking about when he finally has to leave life itself. At
That's
least.
true, but I don't know if things like failing eyesight and all the other stuff he talked about, is that from old age or is that from disease?
Hmm.
A very mountainous island.
I'm thinking it might be in Scotland, honestly.
It's got a very Scottish vibe.
This guy has an English accent, so he might be visiting Scotland because of his past, maybe. Oh, it's getting narrow.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
So he's just talking about someone who had some kind of deformity.
They found Jakobsen in early spring.
Hey, stairs.
Just come.
Hmm.
Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd.
That seems like a sort of overblown reaction to a
Donnelly reports
frozen
they
corpse.
hurled the body
I know.
discussed down the shaft,
But
that I cannot corroborate.
I mean, surely this must have happened before. If not
it,
to this generation of people, then at least there has to have been some sort of historical precedence.
and then again, you found someone's body just completely frozen, so you could at least give him
Throw
a.
it down the shaft.
Someone's dead, and there's goats that really don't care. They've adjusted regardless of this person who.
Very surprising. Goats are extremely domesticated animals.
Climbing down to the cave, I slipped and fell and injured my leg. I think the femur is broken.
Oh no.
It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain.
Oh, I'm hearing dissonance.
Winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the
Oh wow, that is.
I struggled back to the bothy to rest.
Oh,
It has
he's
become clear that there is only one
beginning
way
to
for
talk
this
about
to end.
how he's gonna
The
die.
medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. I
How
became
isolated
useless
is
to
this
my
island
final
that something
ascent.
like a broken leg can kill somebody?
Oh shit. Is this it? Is this where he fell down?
Oh, this is suddenly very spooky.
Oh wow.
This seems to take place, if not during, at least somewhat near modern times. Those boats look like um
It's honestly, it seems
maybe like
maybe.
1930s, 1940s.
I was literally about to say 1930s. So,
I would hope
Donnelly's addiction is my
that
one true
during
comfort.
those times a broken leg wouldn't be an
Although I wake
immediate
in
death
cold
sentence.
storms and find the landscape changing and flowing constantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Well, that's a pretty cave.
oh, our flashlight
Who
broke.
lit that fire?
This little candle.
Who lit this candle?
Who was? Yeah,
There,
there's no way it could be that fresh.
there's still quite a lot of candle there.
And
I don't
so,
know how tall they started off, but those had to have been lit very recently.
hmm,
I mean, even a 3-foot candle will, burn down to the bottom in a couple days.
hmm. It's just a little lake, just in
I
case you
would,
walk
I
into
wouldn't,
it.
I wouldn't call that a lake, Daisy.
A pond.
Um, what's the difference between a pond and?
A pond is tiny.
No, but there was like a, it was how deep it is.
Ah, oh, we have two choices. This little red spot in
A
this.
pond is a body of water where even its deepest areas, uh, can be reached by sunlight,
Ah,
or where a human can walk across the entire body of water without being submerged.
oh shit, I don't want to go
I
down
don't
here
like
yet.
that.
So we're basically spelunking right now.
Yeah.
He also said he badly injured his leg and got a serious infection.
We seem fine, though.
Yeah.
Maybe he just landed in an unfortunate position.
Mhm. So what I'm wondering is if he's just recounting. Is that the right word? Recounting.
The,
He's remembering the steps of these events that he went through, and we're just watching them play out.
so he's narrating what's going on now?
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
That's an interesting idea. Sort of like a bastion sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute.
Where
That led me back.
did you just walk in a big circle?
I guess I did.
I think we have to jump down into the water at that pitfall that we found.
But there was a different direction we could go though.
We'll try that first, obviously.
Hmm.
Believe it or not, my first instinct is not to jump down the giant pit deeper into the earth.
Uh,
This pork was alright.
mhm.
The last microwave meal I had was well, it said on the package it was steak, mac and cheese, and mushrooms, which is great because I love mushrooms and mac and cheese. Steak is alright, but I only really prefer it when it comes with mushrooms. But it was a fucking lie. It was a dirty lie. They give me meatloaf instead of steak.
So From what it was saying, it sounded like he was talking about a car crash. I'm seeing, these are like paint cans. Yeah, no, is it? Yeah, it's a paint can.
Sorry, my brother was asking me a question.
Oh, more candles.
Still is whatever is the last. What's all this luminescence down here? Is that some sort of mushroom growing on the wall?
Looks like it.
Some kind of moss, I think.
Well, yeah, there would be moss. There's plenty of moisture. So,
Yeah.
here we go.
I hate heights. I mean YOLO, right? Hit the surface if you can. Don't want to run out of breath. Every game in the world has a different idea of how long somebody can hold their breath. Is that a ledge over there? Yeah, right there.
He just sinks like a rock.
Are we not playing a female?
No, it's a man.
Assuming that the narration is the character that we're playing.
Yeah, it is, I guess. I mean, it makes the most sense, considering that's all the context we have.
Who's Esther, then?
Esther is somebody he knows.
This looks like a Skyrim cave.
It really does. Once you get from the beginning tutorial where you get inside that cave and it has the bears and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it looks like every Skyrim cave, pretty much. I'm expecting us to turn a corner and run into some Falmer.
Oh.
Oh, how creepy would that be? As if just like
there's
halfway through this game they introduce some sort of
not good,
pale
not
subterranean creature. Did you just fall right back down into the same lake?
Okay, yeah, I was getting really worried right there. I thought it was gonna kill
what
us.
if they introduce some sort of like creepy golem? Not golem. Golem is a construct. Golem type sort of monster.
My precious.
No reference to it in any of like the narration or anything. It's just there.
It just turns into a Skyrim game because, quite frankly, with the graphics, it's on par with Skyrim. Oh man, we should probably put some brakes. There's someone smacking.
I think we could release this as one whole episode.
If it's short enough. I mean...
I'm even thinking even if it's like 2 hours, I would rather have it done and out of the way as one thing. That is that blood on the ground, or is that just...
No, that's just the lighting.
Weird looking lighting. Okay.
Oh shit, nope.
Oh, you almost walked back into the...
Another candle. Okay, so what I think I can do is every 20 minutes, which is, I guess, how long someone can hold their patience, for at least videos that are pretty long, I have it skip to some future part. So at the beginning, like if people can't watch or don't have the time to watch through like an hour of video, I can just have it so you can get to
pause it and come back. YouTube saves your play.
Not all the time, but yeah, it does a lot. I feel like I'm crouching.
With as slow as you're moving?
No, just I look really low to the ground.
What if they're just really big rocks?
And it's just
my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon in the area shining.
I think the narrator is the player character in this.
Yeah, that's what I assumed when we started.
He's speaking very
personally.
And the metaphor that he just used there is
he's
really appropriate for wandering through caves.
He's lucid and in his delirium.
Like the caves represent the broken leg. His fractured, broken bits of his body.
So we have two choices here. We can go to the right or the left.
When in doubt, go left. That's what Dungeons and Dragons taught me. But if there's ever a sign that says certain death this way, don't go that way. Because there's probably certain death over there. There's a little Underdark joke. Underdeep. What? No. Not the Underdark. Fuck, what the fuck is it called? Undermountain. That's what it's called.
Okay, so...
Classic Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Is that ice? What is that?
Can
you not go forward?
I can't.
Can you go backwards?
I can go this direction.
Okay, I didn't want... I was really hoping that we weren't stuck.
I guess we can't swim. So that was the wrong direction to begin with.
That was useless. I'm going to assume the other way is the same thing, and that the only way to go is forward through that little hole in the wall.
Another paint can. So...
left over from people scrawling chemical formulas on the walls of these places.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh, what is that?
There's a
K.
K.
Oh, wait, is that supposed to be a K, or is that other bit just like a... Was it just like a crease in the rock? It's not as thick as the rest of the parts of the K.
It makes it look like it's a K.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Oh, there's another one up there. So there's a bunch of...
Okay, that one does look like a chemical formula.
It does. It has 1.0.
A bunch of hydrogen.
NH2, some men, just right up there. Don't know what that is.
Give me a minute here. NH2, OH.
Or is that a Z? No, it's probably a 2.
Dopamine.
Oh shit, so alcohol and drugs.
This game's got a substance abuse problem.
So we at least know these people have they have knowledge of something that they want to toss around as something in the game. A bunch of crystals on the ground wall, the ground wall.
Several important diseases of the nervous system are associated with dysfunctions of the dopamine system.
Oh shit! So that's
ties back into mental illness, maybe.
They absolutely did their research before.
This is a cool game.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be like this.
There's a lot of underlying jammies that I wasn't expecting. See, this is why I usually like to get some sort of hands-on with the game, because there's only so much that the internet knows. I mean, that was my main problem with the internet versus Dragon Age Inquisition. Everybody was bitching endlessly about, like, oh, the fucking, you know, Tumblr progressivists, writers, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if you actually play the game and, like, actually interact with the characters and experience the storytelling, the writing in that game is fucking fantastic. Every single one of the characters that they complain about is a great character. Dorian is a good example. Dorian's a fully gay character. I say fully gay, like that's a... You can be different, various levels of gay. But he's a male character that can only be romanced by another male character. Dorian is one of my favorite characters in Dragon Age and probably in gaming, period. Dorian is a fantastically well-written character, and I enjoy pretty much every piece of dialogue that comes out of his mouth. And then the other one that people kept endlessly bitching about was Krem, the second in command of Iron Bull, one of your companions, who is a trans character. I thought it was handled really well. He's a very cool character, Krem. And I respect him and like the sort of life choices and the, you know, I say it's a choice, but I mean people will refute that. I don't mean as it's like a, oh, you know, today I'm a
not in a
girl, tomorrow I'm a guy.
not in a
You know
Tumblr
what I
way.
mean?
Not in a Tumblr way.
Yeah, I respect him pursuing a path that lets him live the identity that he chooses. I keep saying chooses.
I will hold
The identity that he
from the summit
considers his own.
into the dark waters.
I definitely respect that. That's more dopamine.
Headlights are reflected in your
And to the point where it's like, no matter what, in my mind, that character is male, even though biologically, you know, not really.
Oh, we have actual words. Behold.
Damascus taken.
Damascus is taken.
Okay, now we've got some... Oh, wow, this entire cave is riddled with... There's more ethanol.
More chemical formulas and...
Jeez. What is this huge diet? Is this some sort of, No, they're all... Damascus. What does Damascus have to do with any of this? Assuming that we're correct about this island taking residence somewhere near Scotland, Damascus is
taken.
Quite a ways away.
Well, I guess it depends on what Damascus represents. So
my mind always immediately goes to the city. But I suppose it could be used as some sort of code word, especially considering the cryptic nature of the rest of these drawings. Is that supposed to... The thing under those words there... the other words. The, like, big square box thing. That doesn't look like any chemical formula I've ever seen. That looks like something else. What is that meant to represent?
I'm not sure. Like... They do look like the masculine symbols. But then...
I think those are just arrows. Though.
Yeah.
I think... some sort of sorting algorithm? I don't know. There's a lot of kooky stuff on the walls in here.
Way from being a city.
Is there something... It looks like there's something on the other side of that W. Away from being a city. So I think it is referring to Damascus as the place Damascus.
So Damascus represents something?
Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous... What's that last word?
Heap. It shall be
Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. That's a very bleak outlook on the fate of Damascus.
So Damascus, I'm assuming, is metaphorical to something.
Poor Damascus. What the fuck did they ever do? Except for, I mean, I'm not going to get into the Crusades. That's ancient history.
Oh, and I think we're only on chapter 2, maybe.
Damascus is taken away from being a city and will become a ruinous heap.
Yep.
This game's pretty cool.
I know, right?
I came into this thinking it was gonna be
some pretentious bullshit, like
indie game bullshit.
like Gone Home is,
I'm
but
trying to figure shit out.
Oh, it's
This is
time to go
very
deeper.
interesting.
Like, oh shit.
Oh wow. I really hope there's like a body of water at the bottom of this, and not just like some sort of stalagmite. Okay, wow, this is someplace completely different. We're still underwater though. This is bizarre. You trying to swim to the surface?
Oh, I guess we can't. Part of the story, I'm assuming. Oh,
Were we supposed to do something there?
I guess it was a hallucination.
What's going on? Oh, the car with the drunk driver. That was a car spun out on an empty highway. Oh, I see. They start to introduce us to the idea that a lot of these cryptic sayings and phrases are connected.
I'm gonna pour a little bit more to drink for this chapter.
So I don't want to sober figure this out. I want to see the higher reasoning skills of drunk Farrell. I know sober Farrell is pretty good at it, just because the amount of experience that he has reading and shit. God, it smells like cement. It's just got that fucking generic, like, harsh chemical smell. Ugh.
Oh.
Do you know the proper way to take a shot, David?
You ever shot, and then you put your mouth around the lid, with your hands behind your back, and then you lift it up, mouth up in the air, and you just let it slide down your throat.
I was just gonna say, you have to breathe in before you take the shot, so that you're not tempted to breathe in at the end of it. So you don't breathe in like all the fumes of the alcohol, because that's what sets people off on coughing.
Oh,
Are we
yeah.
about to get out of this cave?
I guess so. Yeah, I can't even breathe right now, so.
Yeah, always breathe in before you take the shot, and then your instinct will be to breathe out, and that clears your mouth of all the
Ethanol.
alcohol. Yeah, ethanol.
Like this game was talking about.
Ooh.
Okay, one thing that bothers me is that those dots weren't centered in the map.
I have decided, for the record, that I don't like this whiskey. This Southern Comfort, not a fan.
We have two roads we can go down.
Like I said, it's like I'm drinking paint thinner. This doesn't look very much like a road. The other one looks a lot more like a road.
Well, there's that.
Oh, on either side of the cave.
Yeah.
I thought you were facing those puddles as though they were a road.
No.
I want to follow the candle.
Follow the light.
When in doubt, follow the candle.
Oh.
Oh, there's some dock work down there. I think this might end up just taking us to the same place
I
anyway.
wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected
Who's
this
Donnelly?
unforsaken aerial in the first place?
I know he's been mentioning
Did this
Donnelly the
whole
entire
island
time, but I
rise to
mean,
the
like,
circus
what
my
sort of
stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
relationship did this person have? Luminous.
Pad
Alright,
premium.
That explains why all the paint is glowing all the time.
I absolutely need to buy the soundtrack to this game. There is a dock. We need to go on to the. Oh my god.
There's a lot of docks. What's going on over here?
I am absolutely in love with this soundtrack right now.
I wish I could hear it. Fuck you, Skype screen sharing. For not including audio.
Oh my god, it is absolutely like.
Is it good as the Child of Light
Curious.
soundtrack?
I find each
Child of Light,
Oh.
great
harder and
soundtrack.
heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly
So was it
folded clothes.
you or
He
Donnelly
tells
that
me
crashed the
I was
car?
not drunk at all.
If his things are neatly folded, I would think he wouldn't have been drunk.
Unless someone else did it for him. It's
Importantly, what's going on here?
oh,
Oh, syringe, pain pills.
you got a defibrillator. Oh,
This
something.
clearly represents some sort of medical disaster. I mean, those tools are bloody.
I need to go online and find a 1 hour version of this soundtrack because holy shit, I love it.
You keep playing, I'll look it up for you right now.
Yeah. I think we're on chapter 3.
Yeah, I think the cave was chapter 2, and now that we're out of the cave, we're in chapter 3. Dear Esther official soundtrack on YouTube, 47 minutes, 44 seconds long. By Jessica Curry.
Oh my god, they're going in the synth.
Based on what I'm hearing just from this YouTube video immediately, I'm guessing there's a lot of piano.
It's piano, there's violin, and they just added in a synth.
I love piano. Okay, this looks a bit more complicated than the previous chemical formulas. Let me pull this up real quick. What are those? Oh, that's a lot of 3 nitrogen. 3 nitrogen, 3 nitrogen. I'm just gonna type in 3N, dear Esther. An unknown chemical diagram with the chemical symbols replaced with the Hebrew letters Aleph Kaf. In Hebrew, this can mean the number 21. Apparently a recurring theme throughout the game.
Oh.
Has 21 come up before?
I was probably too drunk to notice. I want to go over there to the docks, so... Are these graves? Or are they just posts? Let's...
I don't think those are graves.
Okay, it was a dock. And it's just... age-old.
Been slowly,
And someone's left
reabsorbed.
candles on the beach.
Oh, shit. As I thought. What if... Alright, get me on this, alright? Our narrator was the drunk driver.
Yeah.
He was in the car with Donnelly and Esther. The crash killed Esther, and unable to remain in the same space because of the guilt, our guy moved out to this island. And then Donnelly died here at this island. But at a different time because he said he wasn't here at the same time as Donnelly. But he did carry the corpse.
Oh shit, that...
So what if Esther's dead and he's writing these letters to her post-mortem?
Like his guilt is just...
Yeah.
overwhelming. Oh. What's over here?
Oh, what is that? Oh, that's another one of those... I don't even know what it is. My mind wants to jump into a sorting algorithm, but I don't think that's what it is at all.
It's more of the squares and the masculine symbols we saw in the cave.
Yeah, but I don't think they're masculine symbols. I think they're just circles with arrows.
Okay, so over to the right is the place we need to go.
I will say, though, gameplay-wise, there's not a lot to say about this game.
This is absolutely something that it wants you to just, like, think about. Like, definitely. In our state, we're definitely thinking about what's, events have transpired.
Yeah, I'm not sure I don't know if I'm devoting more or less like mind power behind this game as I would be if I was Somber? There's a candle way up on that cliff.
Oh, I see it. I don't think I can get up to it, though.
There's another one way off in the distance. Past that cliff, over there in the hillsides.
Wait. There's a thing up there, right next to that candle.
What is that?
Is that a statue? Is that a person? Maybe it's a... We need to get up there.
Yeah, I want to see what that is. Let's go past the creepy, botched medical procedure cave.
That could be a person just watching us on this
I'm gonna
personal
start keeping an
journey.
eye out for 21. 21.
21?
21.
More 21s, I guess? We were just in here. We were...
Apparently the Hebrew 21.
So the Hebrews predicted Spiro.
I'm listening to my own, to the Dear Esther soundtrack, but I'm probably way off from what you're hearing. It just cut in with some vocals.
Oh, well, the soundtrack stopped a while ago. Oh.
So now you're just in complete silence. What is this?
Some tires. Oh!
I'm telling you, man, it was not a metaphorical drunk driving accident.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely memorial. I see them a lot, honestly. Actually, right across the street from me, there's a fire station. And always during spring break, there's a car crash right in front of the fire station. So
There were chemical
there's
stains on the
always
tarmac.
candles and
Nuclear
memorials
conditioning,
left in front of
breakthrough
it.
petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on
Somebody
his
definitely
intake.
died in that car crash.
He could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Like, for sure.
Flight
from
heaven
spoke.
Flight from heaven spoke around him. Flight from heaven spoke around him.
What does that mean? Oh, that's got to be referring to Donnelly not being able to handle the ramifications of the car crash, which leads me to also question whose fault the car crash was. Who was drunk? I mean, besides us. You have this on Steam?
Yeah.
Here,
Are there
I
any
could see my
achievements?
armada.
I don't know. I don't think
I
so.
collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you.
Oh.
If I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one.
21.
And I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then,
So
as the sun
somebody,
was setting, I set
the
fleet
be-all
to
and
sail,
end-all of their being has been
shattered into 21 pieces. I
associated
consigned
with
you to the
letters,
Atlantic,
which leads me to believe that
and I
Esther
sat
did
here
die.
until I'd watched all of you sink.
And these are the letters.
Oh, man. So she did die, and he was writing these letters, most likely out of guilt and loss.
But what does Damascus have to do with anything?
I'm thinking it's metaphorical. So look up Damascus metaphors. What does it represent? What happened to Damascus? So he, out of guilt, he wrote these letters. Oh.
Oh, these are the letters.
This is how he dealt with his guilt.
in many uses of the city Damascus, in a metaphorical sense, it refers to a pivotal or sharp turning point in attitude or situation.
On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Some eggs that have yet to be hatched.
This is fucking fascinating. I wish I had paid more attention earlier in the game. So we're at some sort of jetty
So
with more paper boats.
So what I'm guessing, Esther died in a car crash, and out of guilt, he's just been writing letters so he could send them to her, and he knows that he can't just give them to her because she no longer exists. So he's sending them out to sea. Maybe as a symbolic closure. Oh, we're gonna end up over there. That light seems like a spot. I find this really fascinating. Like, I didn't think I would find it this fascinating.
Alright, I did just find this thing that confirms that we are playing as the narrator.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, nothing's confirmed, because immediately after that it says one theory suggests that the protagonist may be Esther herself,
I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback.
since it is the narrator's voice that says come back whenever we sort of die.
I'm following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Oh shit. So, that one spot where we saw the defibrillator and that spot where we saw the symbols that said
that
21.
must be paramedics from the car crash.
Yeah. It took 21 attempts in order to revive him.
Revive him?
Yeah, a guy named Paul. So, maybe the narrator is Paul?
I'm beginning to question whether or not Donnelly was even in the car. Did he have anything to do with the car crash, Donnelly?
Oh, there's some riding up on the mountain right here.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it.
Paper boat.
We saw those.
A crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper
and as he was
and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
proceeding
On his
journey.
And as he was proceeding on his journey, so what does this say?
Is that another reference to Damascus?
And was
And
come near
to Damascus.
and he on both sides of the mountain. And he
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am
There's a lot of
becoming his
and
island,
he's.
so he became his syphilis. retreating into the burning
Are these
synapses
Bible
of the
verses?
stones, the
Or
infection.
Bible, not verses.
And he was...
Because I know a lot of Bible shit starts with "and he blank."
And he was the three
3 days.
days in without sight.
These are Bible verses. That's clearly a reference to Jesus.
And neither did he eat
Yeah, those
nor
are
drink
the 3 days that Jesus spent in
in
the
the
cave
desert.
before he was
Oh shit!
revived.
I am so enthralled with this, like trying to figure out.
Fucking fascinated.
Oh, there's more.
This is such an interesting concept for a game. I'm baffled that I part of me is kind of ashamed that I thought so little of it coming into this.
Basically, this is what Gone Home wanted to be, but couldn't do. Okay, so...
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head
Oh,
split
so
open
there
by
was a
impact.
car crash, confirmed.
Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles.
I don't think
Goodbye to
Donnelly
the
had anything
phenomenal.
to do with the car crash.
Goodbye
Now
to
that I'm
the
thinking
tangible.
about it.
Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye
Someone
Cromer.
didn't make it at
Goodbye
all.
Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused
So
with the
there are
very air.
3 people. No, there are 2 people we know for a fact were involved in this car crash.
And it's...
The narrator and that dude Paul. And we're assuming Esther.
And it came to pass that as I made my journey and... Oh, I can barely see that. And wait... some nights unto Damascus. Oh, that's not good.
Did you fall down the cliff?
I was so enthralled with trying to figure out the writing, I fell off.
This is really interesting.
Damascus.
He's saying Damascus. Damascus.
Oh, I want to know what it says so badly. Something noon.
Oh, apparently Arthur Chu quit Twitter.
Oh.
It's fantastic. Arthur Chu's a piece of shit.
S-U...
Sued? What is that word?
Soon only the...
The, but not the like the. The is in...
From
like
heaven...
Alright, so these are totally biblical texts.
round...
Like full on.
About the... And should not see...
Blind with panic.
For
Deaf
the...
with the roar of caged traffic. Heart stopped on the road to Damascus. Paul sat at the roadside, hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goatherd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact.
So Paul survived the car crash,
He should not be sat
but
there
it
with
wasn't
his
his
chemicals and his
fault.
circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
And the narrator kept talking about how he had kidney stones. The narrator's the drunk.
Glory that light
I just
being
assumed previously that Donnelly was involved with the car crash, but there was actually nothing supporting that idea. I don't think Donnelly had anything to do with the car crash. I think think the narrator was drunk, got into a
Oh.
car crash with Paul,
Hand
and that
of
car crash killed Esther.
man. I wish it was much easier to read what was written
And
on the walls of the mountain.
yeah, I wish you could back up a little bit.
No. Me with
I think you're reading the
I
wrong
know.
way.
that were with me,
With me.
came unto
Came unto that were with me. I think I got it figured out. I think I got the car crash figured out.
I know. Oh,
And then
more
a lot.
right.
This is just the
Damascus. Where I guess we're at Damascus, maybe.
this is the narrator sort of mourning over Esther.
Hmm.
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks.
Is it a carving on the side of the wall
Dear
there?
Esther, I have burnt my belongings,
Oh.
my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon that they will
is
not
Esther
forget
Donnelly?
you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying
Oh.
beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland. Where
Oh, are we about to commit suicide?
Esther Donnelly and Paul Jacobson.
I'm really confused now. Last words we see Damascus. Oh, the white lines carved into the cliffside. Oh, okay.
I guess he was already dead.
Were we a spooky ghost the entire time?
Esther Donnelly and Paul Jacobson. So there was two people the whole time.
Plus the narrator.
I think the narrator might have been Jacobson.
Paul Jakobsen?
Yeah.
But he spoke of Paul so much as though he were another person.
Well, he's telling the story of them.
I think the narrator is a third person whose name we don't know. What I'm confused at is, are Esther and Donnelly the same person?
Esther Donnelly, that's the full name. Esther Donnelly and Paul Jacobson.
And then Jakobsen
Paul
had a
Jacobson.
fully described death where like they found his frozen corpse.
Yeah, Paul Jacobson is the full name. And Esther Donnelly is the full name.
This is just a depressing fucking story now that we have it figured out. So the narrator was driving a car, drunk, with Esther, I assume, with him.
And he's
Crashed into Paul Jakobsen. Esther died. And then Paul died at a later date.
That's as much as we can figure out, but damn,
Yeah.
I absolutely
What
enjoyed
a
this.
fascinating fucking game.
I enjoyed this
I mean,
this story.
from a gameplay perspective, again, I would be hesitant to call it a game, but the amount of interaction between it and my mind definitely qualifies it as some sort of interactive media. I really like that.
Hmm.
Is that the end of the game, or are we just parked on a black screen now?
Uh, I'm hearing some waves, so I'm gonna give it a second. I think we will use this time to jump cut in order to confirm some stuff. So we'll see. Oh, all I'm hearing is waves. I think that was the end of the game.
I'm gonna go on the Dear Esther wiki and see what's going on.
Uh,
Alright, let's get some closure as to what we're seeing here.
yeah.
It is possible that Esther is the dead wife of the narrator. She may have been killed in a car crash also involving her husband, with Paul as the driver of the other car. Called that.
Uh,
There are hints throughout the game that if this theory of Esther is the correct one, she may have also been pregnant at the time of her death.
oh.
Esther was born with a large birthmark across her face. According to the story the narrator told, the doctors were stunned into silence, and she cried to fill the void. The birthmark had long since faded by the time the narrator and Esther met. She called Esther Donnelly in the game's final scene. She's either Italian or at least of Italian descent. That's all the information we have on Esther.
Oh.
In one of the houses, there was a bunch of cracked eggs on the table.
Yes.
One of the papers that was there, along with the music sheet and the letters, is labeled here as a possible ultrasound.
Oh. We did see eggs in a cave.
I do remember seeing eggs.
Or not in a cave. Not in a cave. It was in a home.
Paul works for a pharmaceutical company and lives in Wolverhampton. Traveling back from a conference in Exeter, Paul collides with the car containing the narrator and Esther. Paul is originally an ambiguous figure. We know he is at the scene of the car crash, timing how long it takes the ambulance, but not his role.
Oh.
It's later revealed that Paul was the driver in the other car. It's debated whether or not Paul was drunk during the time of the crash. The narrator relates that Paul, traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter, stopped for farewell drinks, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. Other places, he says Esther was killed by the car but drunk, but then maintains he was not drunk Esther, he was not drunk at all. The narrator visits Paul in his home after Esther's death. Paul is called Paul Jacobson at the end of the story. Works for a pharmaceutical company. A mug he gives the narrator is decorated with chemical symbols. Maybe the source of the narrator's obsessions. The narrator wrote all the symbols. It's said that Paul was traveling from Exeter after forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. Earlier on in the game, the narrator related that the wrecked ship was carrying a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market.
So that's the ship we saw on the beach that crashed.
Yeah, with the big hole in it. Associated with Paul the Apostate and his conversation versus painted rocks throughout the game. And as he journeyed, it came to pass that he drew nigh unto Damascus. And suddenly there shone round about him a light out of heaven. And he fell upon the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. But rise and enter into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And the men that journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing the voice, but beholding no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw nothing. And they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither did he eat nor drink. Acts 939. In the 2008 mod version of Dear Esther, there is a mistake in the final epilogue regarding Paul's surname. Paul is referred to as Paul Jacobson with a K rather than Jacobson with a C. That was highlighted and fixed in the 2012 edition. In the narrator's fantasy, Paul is an alcoholic. What narrator's fantasy? Is that the one that we...
I guess that's what we were
Under the
playing
water
as.
with the car?
Yeah.
It is suggested on several cues that the narrator and Paul are the same person. Let's look at Donnelly's page. Donnelly is an 18th century writer whose book on the Hebridean Islands, I guess that's where we were taking place, is referred to by the narrator throughout the game. Donnelly traveled to the island to find information on a famous hermit living there. Unable to find the hermit, he charts the island and writes a history of its inhabitants, particularly a herder named Jacobson. Jacobson spelled with a K. So maybe Paul Jacobson spelled with a C and Jacobson spelled with a K are different people. Donnelly suffers from syphilis and a laudanum addiction. The latter possibly due to pain he suffers from kidney stones.
Oh.
His syphilis makes him an unreliable narrator, a fact highlighted by the editor of his book and the many different accounts he gives of Jacobson's death. Donnelly returns home, eventually dying of his disease, and donates his blood to the medical school. Though Donnelly does not appear physically in the game, he's mentioned numerous times by the narrator. Donnelly, sometime before his death, but during his sickness, wrote a book named A Hebridean History. Though the book is published, its reliability is often brought into question. Donnelly, being ill with syphilis, was delirious at the time of writing the book. The narrator reveals that he took Donnelly's book from a library, and at the end of his journey burns the book, though he originally intended to throw it into the sea. Although the narrator claims to have burnt the book, it can be found, apparently unscathed, in the Bothy's fireplace.
I didn't see that.
What was that?
I didn't see that.
I don't even know what a Bothy is. I don't know if we were in it. Whether this means the narrator was unable to return to burn the book, or if it is a sign of the narrator's unreliability, is unclear. He claims that he's unsure of whether or not he has thrown the book into the sea several times before. If the player turns right and follows the stream before entering the mouth of the cave, they may see piles of copies of Donnelly's book.
Oh, Bothy. It's one of those shacks we saw near the beginning of the game.
Oh.
So, yeah, this took place in Ireland. Or, no, not Ireland, Scotland.
Esther may be a descendant of Donnelly, since the narrator called her Esther Donnelly in the game's final scene. Donnelly has a... That would make sense if he's an 18th century writer, and the game, we assume, takes place around the 1930s.
Oh, yeah, Bothy is just a little shack that we've been seeing. Oh, yeah, those look Scottish. Oh, those look incredibly Scottish, especially the area they're around.
Donnelly has a drug addiction in the narrator's fantasy. What is this fantasy that keeps being brought up?
I think he's trying to, he needs something to put the blame on because of the car crash.
Mentally defending himself?
Yeah.
Jacobson is a herder who lived on the island in the early 1700s. So Jacobson and Paul Jacobson are completely different people. He's described by Donnelly in his book as deriving from Scandinavian descent, obviously, and is the first habitual shepherd on the island. Jacobson built the Bothy in hopes of eventually having enough property to marry, but dies 2 years after completing it. The reports of the cause of his death are contradictory. Donnelly reported he caught an infection from his goats or died of a birth defect. So, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Because there was the frozen corpse
that they saw, and then the goats were...
Then there was the goats thing, and then there was talking about his rib cage.
Yeah. And how they just dumped his body in a ravine.
Yeah. Similarly, Donnelly writes that the villagers either left Jacobson's body in a cave to rot or threw it down a shaft.
This was a fascinating game.
Yeah. I'm really happy we played that. That was interesting as fuck.
I enjoyed this way more than I thought
Whoa,
I
whoa,
would.
whoa, 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 whoa. All right.
Okay.
There's a page on here called Ghosts.
Ooh. Did we miss something?
Did we ever see the quote-unquote statue on top of the cliff? Oh no, these are much closer up ghosts. Okay, these are way closer up ghosts. These are
Oh.
all in the last section of the game at the top with all the chain link fences.
Really? I didn't notice that.
A number of ghostly figures can be seen on the island. Some are more obvious than others, but all can be seen if the player isn't rushing through the game and paying close attention to the surroundings. There are 5 known ghostly figures: a man, a woman, a cowled figure, a hooded figure in a short, apparently ragged coat, and a figure with a disfigured skull.
I would assume one is death.
It is not possible to get particularly close to any of the ghosts before they either run off or fade away. Some vanish if you look directly at them, yet can still be seen towards the edges of the display if you slowly look away. But if you use the dev console, then you can use no-clip to get to the ghosts without them disappearing. Some ghostly figures can also be seen in some candle reflections in pools of water in the last chapter, The Beacon. So instead of seeing the candle's reflection, the player will see a ghostly figure. The first ghost that can be seen is in the very okay, this is just a list of all the ghosts encounters.
I honestly want to see that.
Oh, there's a lot of fucking... That's spooky. Oh, that is spooky. Ew.
Is it something you want to check out?
If you want to go back and do it, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I am all for
I'll
it.
keep a page up here and I'll tell you where to look to see the ghosts.
We can go through every chapter now. So,
Start at the beginning of the lighthouse.
we are going to find all the ghosts. So that's how the next part will be. You'll only see the parts up to the ghosts.
Yeah, we'll just cut around the non-ghost parts walking through.
I am fully enthralled with this. Way more than I thought I would be.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island.
Alright, at the very
Somewhere
beginning
between
of
the
it, stop
longitude and
before you even
latitude,
move.
a split opened
The
up,
first ghost that can
and
be seen is at the
beached
very
remotely
beginning of the
here.
lighthouse chapter.
No
When
matter
you
how
approach
hard I
the window
correlate,
closest
it
to the
remains a
doorway,
singularity.
a flash
An
of a
alpha
figure
point in my
goes
life
past
that
the window
refuses
from the
all
inside.
hypothesis.
It's difficult to notice and
I
seems to
return each
correlate to
time
the
leaving
ringing
fresh
sound
markers
the
that I
player
hope,
can hear
in the
looking
full
in the
glare
window.
of my hopelessness,
In the
blossomed
same
into fresh
lighthouse, there's a
insight
ghost at the
in
top of the
interim.
staircase.
I will freeze frame if I notice it. So this one I'm looking at right now, right, is where the
Yeah, the
ghost.
window closest to the doorway. Keep an eye on a ghost moving through it.
Saw it.
Oh, so did I. Ew, that's creepy. Alright, now inside the lighthouse, at the top of the stairs, looking down. I don't see it. Oh, is that it? I see that little black bit. Turn, spin to the right. I feel like, too far. I feel like I saw something. Can you zoom in? It might have disappeared once we looked at it.
I might be able to see it during editing, or I might not.
Do you want to restart the chapter real quick? And I mean, we're at the very beginning of the game. Obviously, we won't do this for
Yeah, we'll
every
just.
ghost, but here it's like we're literally at the very beginning.
Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away.
Now, is that ghost again?
Perhaps it's me.
All right, immediately zoom
When
in
we
as
first
soon as you
landed
look
here,
up.
Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly, and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable classes that populate these
No, I don't see
Hebridean
it.
islands.
Yeah.
300 years later, Even
Huh.
they have departed.
In the lighthouse chapter, at the entrance of a cave, there is a Morse code ghost. I don't know what that means, which may or may not be signaling the word Damascus.
So,
Fast forward,
hmm.
or I suppose just cut until we're at the entrance of the cave.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
Whoa, wait.
Whoa, okay.
This is Fibonacci's.
The golden ratio, isn't it?
Fibonacci's the spiral thing. The fact that spirals dictate the universe, or how the universe naturally goes into spirals.
Yeah, the golden ratio.
Is there anything else? I need to download this soundtrack. It is really cathartic.
The ship's manifest, crumpled on
This is new.
a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have
Alright, it's not this entrance. Does this even go into the caves?
Goats here to eat it.
No, it's just an inlet.
I think that's new, at least. Yeah, we'll just be cutting in and out, so.
Yeah.
Sea creatures.
Okay, so he referenced Jesus feeding people with the fish and bread. So, this should be
What
it.
are all these tree-looking things supposed to mean?
I wonder if it's the fig tree that God hated because it didn't have any fruit.
Fuck you, fig tree. Oh, we totally were so enthralled that we forgot to look for the ghost at the beginning of the cave.
I might be able to highlight it during editing, so
That one is supposed to just be a light.
Oh,
The next ghost we don't meet until the next chapter.
okay, so we will immediately cut it to the next chapter. I did see a light. Is that it? That light right there? On that tree?
No. It's like almost like a flame on a candle.
I was looking for it.
This one doesn't have an accompanying picture, unfortunately. Oh wait, yeah, it does. It's just completely out of order. The big boat wreck. Just walk up and look straight at like the cabin on the boat. And then in the corner of the screen, we should be able to see the ghost.
On the mountainside, right?
Yeah, on the mountain. There it is. See it at the end?
I see it.
There it is. Oh, it's
Oh
walking.
my god, yeah.
Oh. I thought that blade of grass at the end was it.
And
now
it's prominently walking across the mountainside.
Oh, as long as we don't look directly at it, it'll hang out at the end there.
So, and it disappeared. Oh, I get what they mean.
That's interesting.
Okay, so where's the next ghost?
When approaching the bothy, there is a ghost that walks into the building. Is he back?
It stays there.
Huh.
Unless we
I
get...
thought once it would have disappeared once, it would have been gone forever.
No, it just stays there.
I wonder
So,
if you continue not looking directly at it, how close can we get?
we're gonna check that out. Oh, shit. Right.
Try looking at the ground and then just walking the path.
It's gonna be gone because of the mountain making it so we can't see it. Oh, yeah, because we're getting in close.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated.
Oh, yeah, see?
So.
It stops right here.
Seem like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a
What's that flashing in the distance?
Why cling so hard to the rock?
It's a buoy.
I don't remember seeing that. Oh, that's the titular buoy.
Into oblivion.
Okay, so the next one is in the bothy, right?
Yes, as we approach the bothy, it'll be walking into the building.
Okay, so we'll cut right to that. I had no idea it would be so fascinating.
This into this game.
Yeah, like, I'm really digging this game. I just decided, hey, this game I heard was poignant in a way, so let's play it drunk. I'm acting the complete opposite way I thought I would act.
Oh no, it's oh no, sorry, not this bothy. It's the one on top of the hill.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
I still saw a thing. I'll highlight it.
Don't look directly at it. I don't want to.
Follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Does it say where it enters?
She says it walks into the building.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakob.
Oh, shit!
Of migratory Scandinavians.
It was there the whole time!
Considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders.
Is it still there?
He came here every summer whilst building the bothy.
Oh.
Becoming a man of property would secure
I'll have to see it in the video, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Hold on, I will get there.
He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after.
Okay, so
There's no one to carve white lines into the cliff.
it was standing in this exact spot, like this, alright? So when you looked at it,
hence the stain against the wall?
it looked like a stain against the wall, but then it started moving, and then it went inside the building.
See, I was looking at I thought that the window on the side outside was the door. This window that you just walked past?
Yeah.
I thought that was the door, so I kept looking at that. Alright, next ghost location. To the back of this bothy, there's a cave in the distance.
I see it, yeah.
If the player walks a little bit forward toward the cave, but not down the path, a ghost will be seen faintly walking in the cave.
So if I walk towards the cave?
But not down the path, you're taking the path.
Oh.
I would, like, turn completely around.
Okay.
Go back up the hill.
Uh-huh.
And, turn to the other bothy, the one that the ghost went into.
Yeah.
Just go down the hill behind that. Like, don't take the path. Just go straight down the hill from the back of the bothy.
Right here?
You keep following this path up.
This one?
Yeah, the one you're taking right. Oh, I think I saw it.
I see a
Pretty
bird.
sure I saw it.
I
Then
didn't.
again, I'm getting some pixelation on my side, so I can't be certain that I saw it.
I wasn't seeing anything. I don't see anything in there. Damn it. You might have missed it. You might have had to walk through the house. Shit. Alright. Moment of truth.
Alright. Those are the 3. I'm looking at my thing here. Look up a bit. You're way too close to the hole. It's up like towards the ceiling. But yeah, I think you're quite a bit too close to the hole.
Oh.
I think that's it, yeah.
It would have been up in that little spot right there.
Oh, did we go past that part?
I thought you meant right across.
I thought I meant it too.
Shit. It was probably right there.
Yeah, because the picture I have, the waterfalls are illuminated with more of a green light.
Fuck.
Well, shit, that was a bit unclear.
Wait. Ages 220. Oh, I guess we fell.
Alright, I want to see this dream again. This time go towards the car.
Yeah, this is the car crash. Oh, man. This person pretty much got off scot-free.
But that other car got fucked. Go back to look at the first car. I don't think there's anything else here.
I think once we get to the surface.
I want to see if there's any specific details.
So, yeah. This...
Yeah, that car got fucked.
There's wheels missing, the lights are on, and...
There's like mufflers and stuff in front of the car as though it got struck so violently that it shoved the undersides of it forward.
Yeah. car door. There's a hubcap.
Very badly textured hubcap.
Hall by the roadside, by the exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly ridden boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
Light from heaven shone around
Him.
him. Okay.
Go closer towards the... Yeah, towards the page. Oh, is it this one? No.
Maybe over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh. Birds.
Dead birds. Like Jacobson.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all
Oh, it's got to be the one by the
I meant to send
boats.
to you, if I'd have ever
The
made
paper
it to
boats.
Canaan, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack.
Oh, right
I
there.
spread them out along the lost beach.
Is that one in the water,
Then I
though?
took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as
No.
the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
I can make out the word deteriorated.
2004, and that departed July 13th to depart an invalid passport. During this part, steadily deteriorated my health has strayed. Since, oh wow. It actually has writing on the boats.
Jesus, that's some attention to detail.
Okay, so not seeing it there. But it said candles in the water. Oh, this is where we saw the eggs by the...
Ugh. Did we miss it? Is that the last candle along the beach?
That's... yeah. Um... hmm.
I guess go back. We must have missed it.
Read it again?
In the beacon chapter, the player can walk along the beach with the cliffs and rocks to the right and the water to the left. There are candles scattered along the way. There is one candle that has water underneath it. And in this water puddle, there is a ghostly reflection that can be one of 3 figures.
So, coming towards it, you follow it along the beach. It's just in water.
hate backtracking in games when you move so slowly.
Yeah. It's water actually.
I'm looking at the image here, and the candle itself is like actually in the water. It's not just next to it.
Um,
Oh wait, no, it's not. What am I fucking talking about? I'm a blind idiot.
this is beach to my left, lands to my right. What are you describing?
It's surrounded by water, but it's on a tiny little thing of land, like a minuscule little.
Amount.
Do you want me to just link you an image real quick?
I can't leave the whatchamacallit.
Oh, is it full screen only?
It's not full screen only, but I'm stuck inside the window.
Oh, just Alt Tab out.
Oh, tab. Okay.
Are you still in the game?
He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Was it there?
It would be right there, but I'm not seeing it.
Fuck.
Oh wait, maybe it's right here.
No, I think you were at the right place.
Two vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks.
The one on the cliff, we looked at it and it disappeared, but then it came back.
Yeah. And I just got here, so
Because we looked directly at it, and that's what made it disappear.
that little counter right there is where it would be.
Yeah.
But the ghost up there.
Oh, you are looking straight at where it's supposed to be. Nope. Fuck.
Why can't we see it?
I wonder if it's a guaranteed thing that it should be there, or if it's like a... Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Alright, so you're back.
We saw maybe like half the ghost that we wanted to.
And
They're kind of a bitch.
yeah,
They're very finicky on whether or not they want to appear.
they couldn't find all the ghosts, so it takes a bit of time in order to actually get to them, so we probably shouldn't get through it in this.
I don't want to try again.
So I really enjoyed this story, actually.
I was pleasantly surprised.
So,
Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings. My
this is a kind of
death certificate.
thing that we need every once in a while.
Who was
You
he?
know.
I
Who
agree.
remembers him? Donnelly has written of him.
Yeah,
Who was
life's
Donnelly? Who remembers
more than
him?
just comedy, there's more to
I
that.
have painted,
And it's
carved,
something
hewn,
that
scored into this space
we
all
need
that I have
sometimes.
done for. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jacobson
The Skype
flying
window
beside me.
minimized.
They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where
So Esther Donnelly, I'm thinking is the narrator's wife, and Paul is the guy in the other vehicle.
Yes. And then I refuse to believe that it's a coincidence, but there are also characters named Donnelly and Jacobson, unrelated to Esther Donnelly and Paul Jacobson.
So I hope you enjoyed what this story had to offer, and
Oh no, I did, Daisy.
I'm ending the video right here. So hope you enjoyed what this story had to offer, and hopefully we see you in the next video.